What is up, everybody? Good morning. Anybody who's here already, thank you for joining. My name is Brandon Osborne. I'm also known as Control for Days. Today, I'm going to be walking you through a modern league with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth. The list that we are running today is this. I know in my past videos, the sideboard has been getting cut off a little bit by the overlay, so hopefully today you can actually see everything, despite the fact that it's not symmetrical here. Main deck, same main deck we've been running. Thinking about playing around with the mana a little bit. I was looking at Zerk's list, and he was running a Yavimaya and an Urborg. I haven't liked Urborg, but thinking about just trying it just for the heck of it. But today we're not doing that. 2 Twilight Mirror, 2 Boseiju, 3 Blooming Marsh, 6 fetch lands. Creatures and non-land spells, we run 1 Innkeeper over the 4th Wall of Roots. I have 2 Endurance in the main, 4 Grist, 3 Eldritch Evolution. Everything else is pretty much stock. Sideboard, we're making some changes this week. Last week we did not perform well on stream, so I'm trying to make some upgrades here. We are back on Hapatra. Hapatra, I love the card. I've had a lot of success with the card, so we're bringing her back in, and we're going to see how this goes. 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Necromentia, 1 Veil, Liberator, Endurance. I mean, everything else is pretty standard. I'm back up to 2 Hearse. A lot of people who are very good with the deck seem to really like Hearse. I didn't like the second one, but I'm going to test it again just to see if maybe I rushed to judgment on the card. So we'll see. Hapatra is back on the menu. So let's jump into our first league match, and let's see how this goes. So this is our first league match. We are playing against FFL 3XX. We are on the draw. Pull this over a little bit. Our opening 7 is medium. So this past week I read Zerk's primer on the deck, and he was talking about mulliganing strategy. And in the past I would have kept this hand, but I'm going to mulligan today a little more aggressively based on the things that I read in his primer. And I want to see how things pan out based upon that. So we're going to ship this hand and see what we get on our 6. And our 6 is much better. So we're going to keep this, and I think we get rid of the Innkeeper. I like this. We'll keep it. Yeah, Zerk has been doing very well. He's a beast. Alright, so we like seeing that given the texture of our hand right now. The Ragavan Stopper, Yawgmoth. So, and if this is blue-red Murktide, Court of Calling is actually really strong against them because you can fire it off at instant speed. We definitely need to build out our board a little bit more for it to be effective, but it's a card we want to see. And I just woke up, so if my voice is a little raspy or gruff, I apologize. Looks like they're thinking about attacking, and they don't. So here, they're representing Counterspell. I think I'm just going to hold here. I don't think I'm going to cast anything into a Counterspell. We're going to wait a moment. We're going to be patient. Get their Consider. And having the Court of Callings in my hand affords me the ability to be a little more patient. So they liked what they drew. And just the fact that they're not doing anything right now, I actually think I'm going to wait another turn for this Court of Calling. So we're going to pass again. played against this deck yesterday, and I got Blood Mooned out of the game, Blood Mooned out of the match 2 games in a row. So we're not going to let that happen today. Fun little game of draw go. Alright, they're cracking first. Iteration. I hear that card is good. I hear it's good. This is a matchup I've wanted a little bit more practice in recently. I feel like after Ledger Shredder came, this matchup got a little bit tougher. So I've kind of wanted to get some more reps in against it. Okay, they bobble themselves. Once again, representing Counterspell. They don't fetch. Alright, we're going to get our other forest. And we're going to get ourselves another Yawgmoth here. Beautiful. Let them draw their card. Yawg is not bad. We're going to play out a Wall of Roots. Let's see what they do here. See if they think about countering. And they don't. One, two, three, four, five. Debating whether I play out this Geist or not. I think I'm going to. Okay, nice. They do not find that worthy of a counterspell. Alright, Ragavan's holding down the fort. I think we're just going to pass. We're going to leave up Court of Calling again. I wish I could cord for 3 here, because an Endurance would be really good. And it almost looks like they're representing Spell Pierce as well, the way they just played the end of their turn there. That's kind of what it seems like to me. Okay, Channeler is fine. This feels like a Murktide. 1, 2. A Heat. I think we're going to... I think we're going to cord in response to that. Okay, so I got rid of a Spell Pierce. We're going to cord for 1, just so we have a blocker back for Ragavan. So I feel like if I get a Hierarch or a Bird, it gets bolted immediately. But if it does, it gives us room to resolve our Grist or our Yawgmoth. So I actually think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a Hierarch here. See if they take the bait. Alright, looks like they're going to leave it up anyway. To bolt or not to bolt? That is the question. Another Walberts. I actually like that. Alright, so we're going to lead with an attack. Okay, it's to be expected. One, two, three, four, five. Alright, so he can't double spell yet. They're definitely representing a counter spell. I wonder if we should have waited on that Court of Calling. Alright, I think we'll pass. You're going to bolt this. Yep. Alright, we're getting to a point where in a little bit of trouble. We're kind of... The pressure is on for us to do something in the near future. It feels like this is a turn where a Murktide might come down. They haven't filtered a ton, so they might not have one, but it feels like we're approaching that point in the game. Alright, that's actually not bad, but we're going to save that one more turn here. Or maybe we're not. Maybe I'll play that out. I think that's definitely counter-worthy. It's just a matter of, do they have two counters? Let's see. They're definitely going to counter this. And I think if they had a Murktide, they would have played it out last turn. Okay, island. Maybe I was supposed to be patient and wait one more turn so I could double spell, but... Alright, they're flooding out a little bit. Crack, draw a card. Another DRC. Which means we can't attack for a turn. The clock just sped up quite a bit too. Have to imagine they have another counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm under the impression they have a spell pierce, and do they have something else on top of that? That's the question. I think we're gonna go for a Yawg here and see what happens. The pressure is kind of on. We have to do something. All right, we stuck it. All right, now I can attack with my Yawgmoth. If they block, I can shrink. I think that's the move to preserve life total a little bit. Yeah, that spell pierce that they have isn't doing much right now. And maybe they have an Unholy Heat, I don't know. But I think we need to draw. Let's see how this goes here. Okay, here's the heat. So that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, maybe I should have been a little more patient. Yawgmoth. Who am I targeting here? I'm targeting that one. Okay. I think our best draw here is Endurance. If we find an Endurance, we can just wipe their board. That's not an Endurance. But because we found a land, we'll get rid of our Hierarch here. It's a second land. Okay, bird's not bad. That's a blocker. Alright, we drew all 3 Blooming Marshes and off one Yawgmoth. And we'll have an Endurance next turn, so that will be good. We'll take 3 here, down to 6. As long as they didn't pull like a Murktide, I think we'll be ahead. Or a Counterspell. Counterspell would be really good. But I think their hand... I believe they have a Spell Pierce in hand. Alright, we'll hit for 4. This is a close game. I feel like we've navigated it pretty well. Alright, the most important card for us to resolve here is the Evo. Oh, no, I messed up because they have Spell Pierce. So if they have Spell Pierce... Oh, that was a mistake. I needed to Evo first. That was really bad. That might have just cost me the game. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Never mind. Alright, so if their last card is Spell Pierce, we'll be out of luck here. We'll see. Let's see if my premonition is correct. Okay, it wasn't. Got lucky. Play out another Marsh. Pass the turn. They're on a 2-turn clock. See what happens here. I got really lucky there. I thought that was the wrong move. All right, we got there. Whew. All right. Game 2. We're gonna bring in 2 Hearse, Endurance, Ooze, Veil of Summer, and then do I bring in Thoughtseize or not? I'll bring in a Thoughtseize on the draw, and we are going to cut all of our Evos, despite the fact that it won us that game, and 3 Hierarchs. All right, we are back. Game 2. Opening 7, we can't keep this. We're just too short on mana, on resources. For anyone who is just joining, what is up? Thank you for being here. We are in our first match of a Modern League. This is against Blue-Red Murktide. R6, I think, is acceptable. Definitely needs a little help, but we'll get a draw step. And, I mean, we have a turn 1 play, which is good. I mean, this is just bolt fodder. This is going to go... It's not going to survive, but... They mulligan to 6 as well. I would love to pull a piece of Graveyard Interaction, whether it's a Hearse or an Endurance. I think those would be probably 2 of our best draws. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, they keep their 6. We are keeping our 6. And now we get rid of probably the Tomb. Yeah. Our mana is good. We don't have any basics, so if we get Blood Mooned, that's going to be a problem. But otherwise, I mean, we have all of the colors that we would want. Alright, looks like I shipped the wrong card. Play Marsh into Bird. And I will pass the turn. Yeah, I'm running 2 Hearse in the side today. The reason being is just because a lot of the people who I really respect who play this deck, they're on 2 or even 3. And while I didn't find it as good the first time around, I'm going to give it another chance and just see if maybe I jumped to conclusions too quickly. So, like here, Hearse would be pretty good. That is definitely not a Hearse. All right, we're in a bit of trouble. So we'll see what happens here. That's a pretty strong start on their part. Double channeler into bolting our bird. Nothing we could have done differently outside of just not playing the bird, but that doesn't get us anywhere, so this is a really strong 6 from our opponent. Iteration. I was listening to a podcast earlier this week, and they were talking about how expressive iteration needs to get banned in Legacy. And I haven't played Legacy at all recently, but I can see why it would be a problem. Card is strong. Filling up the graveyard. I think our best draw from here is probably an Endurance. So let's hope for that. We got 3 of them. Our last 2 draw steps have been pretty bad. Our last 3 draw steps have been pretty bad. Not what we want to be doing. All right, we have to do something. So we're playing out this grist. This minimally impactful grist. This is more of a distraction than anything. I mean, I think, to be honest, they probably just attack us. I don't even think they worry about the grist at this point. If they want to attack grist, that's fine by me. Or heat it. That works too. Best of both worlds. I don't think we're winning this one. For those watching. This is like, yeah, and they're going to play a Murktide. This is a game where literally we played out our cards on curve the way that we could, and like this is the result. So you're going to have games like that. That's going to happen. But being back on the play in this matchup is big game. So the fact we won on the draw our first game is really important. Yeah, we lose. There's nothing more to it. I could chord for a bird and just try to chump block or something, but that's not gonna win us the game. All right, our sideboard strategy. I think I'm gonna keep it the same. I'll keep in one Thoughtseize, 1 Veil, 2 Hearse, 1 Ooze, an extra Endurance. So we'll run with that. Game 3, we are on the play. Our opening 7 is so, but I think it's a keep. We curve 1 into 2 into 3, or 1 into 3, so we're going to keep it. Like if they try to build out their board plan on turn 1 with a Dragon's Rage or a Ragavan, we'll have a turn 2 Grist, which is really strong. See what they do here. And if they don't do that, then we can go turn 2 Geist, and it's just a resilient threat, so it's nice when it sticks. So I think our best draw here is Hearse, probably. See if we can draw better than our last game. Okay, we'll I'm going to play out the Peatland. I'm going to take 1. We're going to play at our Geist, and we're going to hit for 2. See, just like getting ahead of their curve is so important. And now they don't have a play. Like, we can play into a counterspell here, which I'll probably just lead on Yawgmoth. If they want to counter that, that's fine. They will fill their graveyard a little bit, but it will leave an opportunity for us to get Grist out next turn if we do that. But we're not going to commit a big threat into their open 2 mana. And if they think that's worth countering, then be my guest. They're kind of, I guess they're kind of priced into it in some instances. Oh, they're stuck on 2. That's not good for them. I don't know why my library is so small right now. Why do these settings all reset like every game? It's frustrating. Alright, so, oh, that's a really good draw. Okay. That is really good. So that means we don't have to play our Grist into counter magic. So we're not going to do that. If they want to play something end of turn, our Grist will resolve. Or our Endurance will resolve. It's a 3 mana spell. What's the difference, right? I'm going to play the Endurance. It speeds up the clock. They might have another counter spell, but I think it's worthwhile. And depending on what they do, it gives us the opportunity to resolve our Grist here. And they could look for a Subtlety as well. Let's see what they're doing here. Counterspell? Okay. You got it. Alright, so Grist is going to stick most likely. I wish this was a regular land. I didn't even mean to do that. We're going to get our Grist down. We're not going to mess around here. The second Geist doesn't really change the clock over what the Grist does, so it's about the same. Alright, our opponent is in a little bit of trouble here. If they can't hit their 3rd land drop, it's not the way to do it. They might just be dead here. 4. Okay. We got there. Match 1 in the books. Beat Blue-Red Murktide. Let's go. We are back. This is match 2 of our league. We were playing Black-Green Yawgmoth against Mazu93. Our 7-card hand is really good. We're going to keep it. We're on the draw. I had some complaints earlier this week about the audio on my YouTube, so I just want to make sure that it's coming through clear. Alright, crisp and clear. That's how I like it. Alright, so right off the bat, we're thinking another match against Blue-Red Merc. Our 7's actually pretty good against them. I probably should have let off Hierarch there, actually. You expect the first bird Mana Dork to get bolted. In this matchup, birds are actually a little bit more valuable than Hierarchs, so I should have led with the Hierarch there. So it was a small error. Oh, okay. Okay, so they're doing that. Endurance in our hand is really good. They're going to get a free draw off the Emery. But if they try to do shenanigans on their turn, we are not going to allow that. Alright, so we'll hit them with the Geist. Turn 3, we'll have up Endurance so we can stop their combo if need be. This deck is really strong. I think if I were to play another deck in the format, this would be what I would be playing right now. It's kind of a combo deck, but it has a lot of value and just like a good fair game plan as well. It's kind of like Yawg in a way. Very different strategies, but kind of a similar execution in how they operate. We're going to let them get the bobble. And I think it's probably a very skill-intensive deck as well, which appeals to me because there's a lot of, just like a lot of variability with regards to how you can play it. Innkeeper doesn't really do anything. It does, but it doesn't. I guess we could play Innkeeper into Hierarch. Oh, okay, my bad. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Streaming is hard, let me tell you. You're focusing on two things at once as opposed to just focusing on one thing. It definitely makes it challenging. Alright, so they got a beatdown plan going. Depending on what they do, I think this turn, I think we're actually probably just going to chord for a mana dork based on the way this is playing out right now. Or not. You know, if they try to combo, we'll stop their combo. We're going to take a hit for 5 or 6 or whatever. It's fine. Alright, I think we're going to cut them off of that. I don't think we can let this just go unchecked. Too much value. Also pumps their guys, so. Alright, Grist. Grist is decent with the Innkeeper, but I think we go Innkeeper into Hierarch this turn. We'll gain a little bit of life. We'll have Cord up so we can get a Yawgmoth, and the next turn we'll shoot for our combo. We'll shoot for the stars. And if the Innkeeper survives... Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that triggered off every artifact. If Innkeeper survives, we just have the combo. We don't need the Blood Artist next turn to facilitate that. We'll get the Blood Artist eventually, but we don't need it right off the bat. We'll have infinite draws. Let's see how they do this. Alright, so we're short to find Grist, or find another Endurance here, so we might just be dead. I guess I'm not sure if it depends what they mill, or if they just have the combo outright. But we're going to let them play it out. I feel like they need to hit something else for this to work. Or maybe not. Maybe they just have it. Yeah, maybe I should have held my Endurance. Maybe that was the move. Because I guess they're just going to be able to mill the whole deck. They have another Emery. Oh, interesting. I should have cast the Cord in response to that, but okay. I think we lose here. I'm gonna scoop it up. I'm pretty sure. They're just gonna keep milling cards until they get to the Oracle. So we'll concede. All right. Game 2. We'll bring in Hearse. We'll bring in Force of Vigors. I wonder. Probably no Hapatra. We'll bring in an Ooze as well, maybe. It's a lot of cards. A lot of cards. All right, so we're bringing in 8 cards. Endurance, 3 Force of Vigor. Ooze. I feel like Ooze might be medium. Maybe we'll shave the Ooze. This isn't as much a game of life gain, I don't think. Maybe it's just better than something else, though. We'll see. Excuse me. Okay. I think we can shave a Grist. Shave some number of 1-drop Dorks. Probably shave a Wolf. Oh, shave a Wolf. I might shave a second Grist. Hearse. Force of Vigor. Liberator. So we need 2 more cards. Innkeeper and Messenger, maybe. I think those are expendable. I don't really know what they bring in from a counterspell perspective. If they're bringing in Spell Pierces or something like that. I don't think they do. If they did, Evo would be worse, but I guess we're going to take this match as a learning opportunity. If our Evos start getting countered, we'll change our strategy. Let's see how this goes. Ugh. That would be so good if we had another land. We can't keep this, though, unfortunately. Alright, our 6, this isn't very good either. We might have to mulligan down to 5 here. I mean, we're leaning really hard on this Liberator. We don't have a second green source, so we can't really do much of anything. We might be going down to 5 here. By might, I think we are. The good thing about this deck is we can recoup card loss pretty quickly if we have a Yawgmoth. So once you start going lower and lower, Yawg gets more and more important. I think we have to keep at this point. We'll ship one of these, one of those. Try it. Go Grist. Yeah, mulling to 5 doesn't feel great. That first hand would have been amazing if we had another land. Pithing Needle. Yikes. Okay. Interesting. Interesting choice of cards to name. That was a pretty good draw. I'm not going to cast it out yet, just so I can leave it up. Is this an ending? An Emery. Okay. Emery's fine. Emery's kind of annoying. Like, if we kill it with a Liberator. An exile effect would be really nice. Oh, hey, I know a card that does that. That just got spoiled. Alright, so it doesn't make sense for us to play out the Grist. We'll start with a swing. So I wonder if we actually do play out the Grist. I actually think that might be the play, because like if we play out Liberator, they could bolt it. I'm forced to sacking it to kill the Pithing Needle, and then they just bring it back with the Emery. So I think I actually played the Grist out here. I mean, which might be fodder for something, but we'll see. Okay, the ending there, sure. So our best draw here is another Undying creature, I guess. Swinging at Grist, sure. It's unfortunate. Alright, Yawg isn't bad. They have 5 card types. Of note, they have a Fury in their graveyard, so good to know. Once again, we're going to make the most mana efficient play here. Play out our Yawgmoth. See if this gets Unholy Heated. It does not. Okay, so that's good. Alright, Yawg is getting bounced. That's annoying. Grist is going down to 1. It's not a good draw. Alright, I think we have to play out our Yawg again. Dead. This game is not going well. Our 5-card hand is not panning out the way we wanted it to. Maybe it was a mistake playing the Grist out, but I don't think we were getting anywhere with the Liberator. The other option was to use the Beseiju to kill the Pithing Needle, and then minus the Grist with the Liberator. But I think we still kind of wind up in the same situation if we'd done it that way. We're going to be drawing a card off this Peatland, EOT. Alright, it doesn't... We can reset the Needle. I think we draw a card first. Oh, we can't do both. I think we just let it hit. Like, allowing them to reset the Needle to hit a Yawgmoth is not what we want. That's the more important card, so if they hit Grist off their Needle, that's fine. We're in pretty big trouble. I mean, if they find like a... They're going to get rid of their... Okay. Our best draw is another Geist at this point. Geist into Yawg, hit down the Endurance. But we're still going to crack the Peatland here, just in case we do draw land in one of those top 2. There's a land. Alright, Geist. One time. Not a Geist. I guess ooze would have been pretty good here. Do we have ooze? We didn't bring the ooze in. What are our choices here? 2 drops. Liberator's already gone. Hapatra's in the sideboard. Don't really have much going. I'm just going to play out a land and pass the turn and slowly get buried under their value here. Like, Emery's online now. They're getting a card off of it every turn, at least. We're F6'd. We can't do anything. If we had a Beseju, we could interact, but outside of that... But we don't, so it doesn't matter. This is a little... Oh, I guess I can just bounce it with Teferi, which is why they did that. Oh, I was supposed to fetch there. Alright, we'll see. I apologize, some of the songs on this playlist are obnoxious. Yeah. It's just random songs that I have licenses to, so I kind of compiled this. I just threw them all in there, so. Alright, we have Yawgmoth, which gets us up to a Grist, which doesn't do much. Really need a 2-drop. We are way behind this game, though. There's always the potential for our combo of note. I wonder if they bounce the needle at some point and just get put it on Yawg. Yeah, sure. That's fine. That doesn't change anything. They are just churning so much value at this point. I've gone through half their deck. I feel like you wait on that one. Alright, so depending on what they have in their hand, we can actually get rid of the Teferi here. We're gonna go for it with our Dryad Arbor. We'll see if they have an answer to it. I'm guessing they do. I feel like they wouldn't have made that mistake. We'll see. Alright, another 1-drop. Still not what we want. That's fine, we'll play it out. Does Teferi die? No, it does not. Here, I'm going to go Yawgmoth. I think I'll actually get an Endurance here. Just because of the value they're generating. Once again, I don't think they're playing counter spells. I could be mistaken, but if they are, we'll cut them off of that bobble for now. Let's see how this goes. Like, the grinding station can put stuff back into their graveyard, but I feel like we have to slow them down at least a little bit right now. Got to do something, you know? Can't just sit here. They're at 11 life. I mean, their life total's getting a little low. I wonder the move there with the grinding station. Okay, they got a second one. And look, their graveyard is full again in one turn. So easy. Alright, we really want a Yawg here. That's our best draw. Yawg would be amazing. One time. Not a Yawg. Alright, I think we're actually just going to ignore this Teferi and just attack them. I don't think this is a great plan, but I think it's the best one we have. And then if we can pull... I think they block with the Oracle, maybe? No? Okay. Like, if we pull Yawg next turn, we can win. One time. Yawgmoth. This is a game... At no point did I feel like we were winning this game, so we'll see. If that's a breach, not a breach, okay. Can I holler at a Yawgmoth? Please. Pretty please. The value. We could also just die at any moment. Three, four, five. They have a Fury. Okay. So what do they kill here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. I don't know that I would have taken that line. Alright, so they're Hellbent. So if we pull Yawgmoth, we should just win. And it can't be an Evo. It has to be Yawg or a Cord. Yawg or a Cord. Why, deck? Why? Why do you torture us like this? And now... I mean, we're still alive. Not dead. Yeah, that's pretty good for them. Our messenger is not in the deck anymore. So that's not really an option, that line. I mean, Yawg still keeps us in it. It's not like we're out of it. They're hellbent, we're hellbent. We're going to take a hit for 6. That's fine. What did they bounce? Oh, Fury? Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Alright. Yawgmoth doesn't do it anymore, unfortunately. I didn't realize this deck was running Fury. It's just, I guess, any deck that's running red should be running probably the best card in its colors, right? Second grinding station. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're pretty much dead. There's the Evo. Alright, we're scooping this one. Can't win from this point. This is match 3 of our league. We're currently 1-1. We have Godman God on the other side of the table. We are on the play for the first time. And our hands have been abysmal. We can't keep this. This we can keep. Alright, this... I like this 7, I think... Or this 6. Just trying to think out how this is going to play out. So we can go turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Wall, and Geist. So I think we get rid of the Young Wolf here. I mean, that's the ideal situation, but that's the way if we're anticipating the Hierarch getting bolted, we would keep the Wolf and get rid of the Geist, but I think let's be optimistic here, right? They're on a 6-card hand as well. Of note, we're short on black mana with this opening hand. We're leaning on the Hierarch for our black source, but the hope is that Court of Calling is what gets us there with regards to finding a Yawgmoth. Okay, there's a Ragavan. Alright, so things worked out okay. And that's actually really a good draw. For Court of Calling purposes, that's really good. I'm going to play out the other wall because next turn it will give us a Yawgmoth and a Geist. So as long as we still have these cards. So the hope is that they go like turn 2, I don't know, like Voidwalker or Kroxa or something like that. If they attack, I'm definitely blocking. Okay. Blood Crypt. You got it. Let me keep my hand. Don't terminate anything. Just play a stupid creature. Okay, they got a stupid creature. Cool. Alright, we're good. We're really good. So I wonder, do I need to take 2 off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, Geist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I actually don't need to pull any counters off the walls here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Just make sure my math is good here. Yeah, so we got a Yawg next turn. I mean, we could have a Yawg this turn. Maybe that's the move. Maybe I was supposed to get it during my turn and just start mowing things down so the Voidwalker can't bring anything back, but if they want to attack, I'm going to let them attack. I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to play a little reactively here. Let them tap out and whatnot. Yes, I will take a hit of 3. And like, best case scenario here is we just kill them on our turn. Okay, so they're leaving up removal. But we're going in. Mr. Yawgmoth has entered the battlefield. Okay, this was anticipated. So they're going to terminate. We are going to kill that. We're going to reload our hand a little bit here. Grist is really good. It's another land. I guess the question here is, do we draw 2 more cards? And having drawn the Court of Calling, I don't think we do now. Or maybe we do. 1, 2. Play out Grist, and then chord the following turn. is having 2 extra cards worth it? Like, they could have something like a Bolt. I think I'll take the 2 extra cards. It's a tough decision. My life total is getting a little low, so I do need to keep an eye on that. Okay. 2 lands, not really what we wanted, but that's fine. Messenger, not great. Alright, so we'll leave with an attack. Definitely don't need to give them information pre-combat here. And we're going to play out our Blooming Marsh because we don't have anything else to use our mana on. And then we'll have a Yawg again next turn, assuming all goes well. Which is a lofty assumption, but we're gonna hope for that. Two, 3. Pyromancer, that's good. Gets them reloaded a little bit. Cord, we're going to leave that up. Also have the option of getting an Endurance in case they try to scam us. Assuming that this is scam and not just like a black-red rock deck. But that's what it feels like. Alright, so it's scam. Alright, so Yawg will be an option. Another Cord isn't bad. We'll uptick here. Can't do anything with our other Beseiju. Alright. You love to see it. Alright, so here... Let me see. So if I get Yawg, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll have 2 mana untapped. Untap the Geist. And then I can just get Yawgmoth right away as well. So we're going to do that. So we'll have the combo up. Alright, and they just scoop. Cool. Made it easy for me. Alright, so we're playing against Scam. We're going to bring in Jeskai, Endurance, Ooze, Veil of Summer, some number of Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize might not be good enough on the draw. Maybe it's just these cards. Let's see what we're pulling here. Scam, scam, scam. If you guys want access to this sideboard guide, it's linked below. It's in my Patreon. Feel free to head over there, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. Where's Scam? Yeah, so this matchup is under Black-Red Scam. This has Thoughtseize in it. I don't think I want them. Birds, Evos, Cord, and Giralfs. Pull 2 birds. Alright, we'll go with this game 2, and then game 3, we'll bring in some Thoughtseizes on the play. Try to cut them off their combo. So definitely not a favorable matchup, but we're going to see if we can pull this one out here. I don't like mulliganing against this deck. Did we mulligan last game too? I think we did, right? Yeah, we mulliganed to 6 last game. And I think we're going to mulligan again, because this hand doesn't really do anything. I don't know if we can go lower than this. This isn't good. They're on a 6-card hand. But if they have like Grief plus Undying, we just have 4 lands in our hand. That doesn't do anything. I'm gonna mulligan to 5. This, ugh. We're gonna keep this. If they have Fury, we just lose. We're gonna get rid of that. And we'll see how this goes. This hand does not line up particularly well against what they do, so a little sketchy. Alright, that's fine. Would you guys have kept any of those first 2 hands? Cool. Ignoble number 3. And I think I'm just going to get basic here. They do play Blood Moon, and they're 75. We just need to get to this Wall of Roots, and then we'll be able to do some stuff. We're going Ignoble Hierarch beats in this game. Not the best game plan when they play Fury. We might be priced into playing out a second one. We're definitely not going to play out all 3 at once. It's just too much, too enticing for them to murder our board state. They have 4 cards in their hand. Alright, yeah, now we have to play out the second one, which if they have like Fury plus Undying, we're going to be in really big trouble. Really, really big trouble. And if they don't, we might be able to recover here. Fingers crossed. No Fury. No Fury. There's Fury. Okay. No Undying. No Undying. Just based on the way they stack their triggers makes me feel like this thing's coming back. Which is really bad for us. Because we won't have a board. We'll have 1 land and 1 Ignoble Hierarch. Not good. Oh. They stack their triggers differently? Okay, yeah, it's coming back. Cool. I wonder if Wizards took this sort of thing into consideration when they developed the elementals. Like, they had to have known, right? Oh, Ephemerate's a card in the format. These things are cards in the format. Like, did they have that foresight? Did they know that? This is just, it's downright wrong. It's abusive. Yeah, cool. We don't have a board. And with like a card like Grief, it just creates non-games, right? So the best we can do here is like land Hierarch into land Yawgmoth. That's not a land. Once again, like our cards were kind of priced into playing the way we did. I don't think there was anything we really could have done differently up to this point. And now we're on a 3-turn clock. Possibly faster, depending on what happens. If they don't have like a Void Walker, our best draw is probably a Geist, just to have a chump blocker. We're going to take another hit for 8, go down to 3 life. And then next turn we'll be able to find a Yawgmoth. Not okay. I was going to say not dead necessarily, but we're pretty dead. I'm guessing they probably have another Undying effect as well. Yeah, against this hand on a 5-card hand, you're not winning. Not happening. Okay, cool. We're going to scoop. I'm good with that. That's enough for me. All right. On the play, we're going to bring in 2 Thoughtseize. We're going to shave a Yawgmoth and another bird, I think. And we'll submit. All right, can we keep a 7-card hand? That would be really nice. Yeah, we'll keep this. This actually isn't that good, but just having Veil up and then the opportunity for an Endurance, we're going to keep it. And they kept a 7 as well. We'll lead on the Marsh and just pass the turn. Veil gives us like an opportunity for a pretty big blowout against them, so we're going to take advantage of that opportunity. We would like to draw into a 2-drop though. That would be helpful. Our best 2-drop would probably be a Wall of Roots. Facilitate the chord. Alright, there's the Grief. So we're going to have to deal with this body. Or, I mean, I could always Endurance it, but it doesn't feel great, too, for wanting myself like that. But maybe that's the move, just to keep it off the board. I guess we'll see what we draw into. I mean, the Evo isn't really doing anything, so maybe that's how I approach it. Sure. Yeah. And they're down to 4 cards. We pull a land. I feel like we might need to get rid of it. We might need to cut them off of... So it essentially, they did discard 2 cards, but they don't get the body off of it, which I think is important for us right now, just because we don't really have a game plan. And once again, a 2-drop for us is going to be our best draw. That was good. All right, we like that. We like that. I was kind of thinking like Wall of Roots or Geist, but I'm on board with that. Cut them off of their shenanigans. If they have like a Void Walker, that's going to be pretty good. Okay, so that's decent. We're going to eat those 2. Okay, Grist was a good draw. I'm going to fetch basic here. The downside of pulling Grist here is that it's going to put whatever he puts into the graveyard, like a Yawgmoth. Now they can access that with the Void Walker. But giving us some fodder for our Court of Calling, I think, is important right now. Right now, this game feels pretty close. If they have something like a young Pyromancer, like sacrificing the Voidwalker to get the Yawgmoth, play young Pyromancer, get 2 tokens in the creature, that's going to be tough to beat. Whether or not they would take that line, I don't know. Swing at our Grist. Sure. Best thing that could happen here is a double hit off of Grist. If we can manage that, that would be really good. Which we did not. They hit a Thoughtseize. So I'm just debating, do I play out the Tomb untapped? What cards do I care about? In the 2-drop slot, there's nothing really good for us to get, but I think we have to do it this way, which gives us a Yawg next turn. I think that's how we win this game. We get Yawg, as per usual. But we're going to leave up the option to get a 2-drop. Something like an Ooze, maybe. But we are going to be on the clock here. Hope is that they don't have a Fury. Fury would be really bad. Grist is going to go. Oh wow, attacking both at Grist. They spared us some life here. That is very kind of them. Do they have another play? And as of right now, it looks like getting rid of the Evo early on was the better move as opposed to getting rid of the cord. Alright, so if they get a Yawg into play, it's going to be pretty good. Alright, so the hope is that they sacrifice their Voidwalker to get a Yawg. They use the Yawg to try to kill our insect tokens, and then we respond by dumping something. We'll see if they do that. We'll see if they take that line. And if we get a Yawg in play and we get it to stay in play, from there, we got to find an Undying creature, assuming that the Voidwalkers are gone. Okay, that makes things easy for us. Thran position. Pretty straightforward. You can Thoughtseize me. Got some pretty good options off their Voidwalkers here. Pretty good. I wonder if they get the Grist. Okay, they got the Grist. Yeah, so this is all expected. Okay, I'm only going to -1 the Voidwalker. If I minus it again, they're just going to activate it and get the Yawg. And we'll dump the Elemental token. Can't really do anything to prevent that from happening. Another Voidwalker. Yeah, this is getting a little choppy. My hope is they attack with the Pyro. We find a 2-power creature and we can swing with the Hearst and kill the Grist. That would be best case scenario. Which doesn't look like that's happening. And they're getting themselves a Yawgmoth as well. Let's see if they swing with the Pyro. If they do, I think it's a mistake. No, they don't. Okay. It doesn't feel like we're winning this one. All right, that's not great. Neither is that. Young Wolf just gets chewed up by the Yawgmoth here. But I don't see what else we can do at this point. We're just gonna play it out. We're in a bit of trouble. Fortunately, with the Voidwalker, they don't really have much else they can do. I mean, maybe I hold the Yawgmoth there? I don't know. Alright, they're up to 2 on the Grist. Positive note, it feeds our hearse. They have 1 card in hand. Wonder if they know how to use Yawgmoth, how to click properly with it. Let's see if they execute this correctly. So thinking about our outs from this point forward, I'm not sure. Not sure what outs we really have. I mean, they just have such a commanding board state at this point. Us trying to generate value off of all of this is going to be tough. Fable. Yep. Oh, that's kind of ballsy attacking with the Yawgmoth. If we had something like an Endurance, we could cast the Endurance, crew our hearse, block the Yawg, and then... yeah, that's a little ballsy. Little aggressive. I guess they're just trying to get me dead, but... 1, 2, 3, 4. Grist. Okay. I don't think that really does much. Like, I can get rid of the Yawgmoth. And then they just cast it again with the Dothy. I can get rid of the Dothy. And they have this board state, which is ridiculous. Maybe I just get rid of the Yawg. And then, I mean, they just attack me down pretty much. But I guess if we get rid of the Dothy, we can draw into an Undying creature, and that's like our saving grace. That's how we get out of this situation, maybe? Maybe? We're in deep trouble, though. Like, their Fable is going to filter them into some really good cards, too, so... So they got rid of 1 card there, so they have something that is worthwhile in their hand. Four, 5, Fury. Okay. I mean, I think that the ship has sank at this point. We're not coming back from this one. The writing is on the wall. You know, last week when I streamed, we did not have very good leagues, and this week it's not going so well so far. Things are not looking up. They're a little tight on time though, but we're dead next turn if we don't draw something like a damnation. Taking 6 down to 6. And I really don't know what we can draw from this point. We need like grist into double hit, which even that doesn't do anything. We're still dead. Cool, another land. All right, guys, we are 1-2 in this league. That did not go well. Stole a game off of them, but that was not great. This is match 4, Coolest Raven. We are currently 1-2 in this league. We are going to be on the draw here, and our opening 7 is solid. We are going to keep this. They've revealed a Kahira, so they could be one of 2 decks, most likely. Either like a blue-white control shell or a elementals type deck. So we'll see. We'll see what they're doing. Yeah, so back to my dog's walks. They're much slower paced than they used to be. So sometimes I say 15 or 20 minutes. You know, it's kind of dictated based on what he wants to do a lot of the time. I don't always have as much control over how long it takes as I would like to. But yeah, we stopped in, we saw some of our neighbors who he loves. And then he just, you know, he wants to stay there and hang out with them, so it takes a little longer than typical. All right, so don't really have a ton of information in terms of what we're playing against as of yet. Whether this is an elementals build or a control build. You know, they're leading out playing cards that would suggest that there's Leyline Binding, which we would expect. They've shocked, which to me suggests that they also might have a counter spell up. So, I think we're going to lead on Yawgmoth and see if this buys a counter spell. And then we'll go into our Strangleroot. Yeah, so they took the bait, and now we'll get our hit in for 3. That was what we wanted to have happen. As planned. Yeah, so I got a new computer probably about 2 or 3 months ago, so there haven't been any big issues since I've gotten it. I wound up just having a friend help me pick out the parts, and I built my own. And I bought everything when they had Amazon Prime Day, so I got some pretty good deals on all the parts. So it was long overdue. I needed to make it happen because I could not continue doing what I had been doing. It was just abysmal trying to get through leagues and just, you know, timing out, and it was a disaster. It was not good. So right now they're representing something like an Archmage's Charm. We're going to run the Messenger into it. We don't really care about that. The whole goal is to get Yawgmoth into play here, and if and when we can do that, that will be big game. So if they want to counter this, by all means, be my guest. And then after this, I'm debating whether or not I want to play out the bird. Look at this mana. This is so offensive. Like, really? You cannot get away with this. So do they have a white source? They don't have a white source. So they can't sweep us. So for that reason, I'm actually going to play out the bird. We don't have the threat of a Supreme Verdict next turn. It's strange they don't have a white source out. There's one. Okay, and this to me says that there isn't a board wipe. That was a pretty good draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or there isn't a... They don't have a counter spell up, unless there's the chance they have something like Remand. That's kind of what I expected. And also the reason why I led with the attack as opposed to playing out Yawgmoth first. So... So we have our Dryad Arbor here too, on demand, so we'll at least get a couple cards out of this Yawgmoth if we so choose before they do whatever it is that they're going to do. They're approaching Solitude mana here. We'll probably take it one at a time with regards to sacrificing things. Okay, that's a strange line there. Trying to cut us off of mana. Still only have one white source. This is like a Teferi, an Omnath, another Teferi, okay. Or a big Teferi. And they're tucking our Yawg here. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to attack down the big Teferi with our Dryad Arbor, so we're going to lose our Yawgmoth. But we have 2 Court of Callings, which I think is pretty good. I do want to get rid of the red and 6 too, but we're kind of... Teferi is definitely the big consideration here. And I think we're going to sacrifice the Dryad Arbor post-combat. Because... Let me make sure I'm attacking the right one. Okay. I don't think there's anything they can do from here. So cards we could get. I could get a Wall of Roots, which next turn lets me cord for a Geist and then swing down the Wrenn and 6, assuming that this resolves. I could just get a Geist right now, which next turn allows me to swing down the Wrenn and 6, but it's not as good with cord. It's not a threat if I get the Wall of Roots, but I think that's long-term the better game plan for us here. So that's what I'm going to go with. And if they have some sort of removal spell, we do get punished a little bit. So we'll see. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like this is the blue-white control list with Wrenn and 6. And defensive mana. These soup decks, it's just like their mana bases are so ridiculous. They returned Misty. Alright, they had removal. That's unfortunate. Our best draw is a Geist here. Alright, we'll take it. Not going to complain. Hopefully we dodge a counter or removal here. We're going to swing down this Wrenn and 6. Get that off the board, and the next turn we'll tutor for something else. Depending on what we find. Their life total is getting a little low. They don't have anything. They have 1 card in hand. They can get this Kahira. So they can get it and they can play it. Play out another land. Strange they're not playing the Kahira. I'm not 100% sure if they play Shark Typhoon. So if I swing right now and they like cast a Typhoon. They could also have a Solitude. Like, the fact that they didn't play out the Kahira or pull it into their hand, to me says that there's something in their hand. I'm guessing a Solitude. That would be my best guess. I'm going to lead on the bird. And I'm going to use the cord if they try to kill our Geist. I'm just going to leave the cord up. So we'll see what they're doing. Feels like a Solitude. They fetch. They're down to 6. And then on our next turn, finding something like a... Okay, there's the Solitude. So we're still going to cord here. The reason being is I want to get my way up to enough mana to find like access to a Grist or something like that, which we're going to be 1 mana off of right now. So we'll get a Yawgmoth. They are going to be gaining some life here, though, having the Kahira on deck. This is pretty close game right now. So they don't pull the Kahira in. Once again, a little strange. Our best draw is a Yawgmoth, depending on what they do. We're going to take the hit. We are not going to sacrifice our Yawgmoth here. Kahira in hand. Playing out Kahira. Yeah, so the sequencing there was weird, right? Because they could have gotten an extra point of lifelink in. No, we drew a Grist. Grist is really good. So we can Grist plus, which I think is the line, which gives us Yawg next turn if we plus. And then if we stick a Yawg, so they tapped out, so to me that says that they don't have a counter spell. Okay. Annoying. Still could potentially be a Yawg next turn. They took the Yawgmoth. Wow. Are they banking on finding some form of interaction here? They're drawn pretty well right now. So they bounce our token, and then they hit our Grist. I mean, I don't know what we can do about that. Best draw is a Yawgmoth. Alright, so we can hit down to Ferry. So we'll do that. And then next turn, we can get a Geist, block the Kahira. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. They just drew straight fire the last 4 turns of the game, so they drew Binding into Teferi into Teferi. It's going to be hard to beat. Taking a hit for 7. I mean, we're pretty dead. Pretty dead. What do we have under here? We have a Geist. We have a Yawgmoth. So we're going to get our Geist back, and then from there, I don't know what the line is. like just the advantage they're generating off this right now, it's going to be really, really hard to come back from. And we're going to be at like 1 life. They might even have some form of interaction to just cut us off of our blocker here. Where's the Geist? Is the Geist? Yes. This has been a challenging league up to this point. And if they have something like another, like a Ren in 6, they'll just be able to kill us. But I think this is the play. We're in such a hole. It's just, we're in trouble. Can't do much with that. We'll play it out though. It's fine, just in case we find some life somewhere. Sure. So if they have a counter spell here, I mean, we would love to be able to find an endurance, but not really in a position to do that. We're short of mana. Okay. So it could block Hierarch here, swing down the Teferi, but then we have to answer 2 creatures next turn, which we're not going to be able to do, so kind of have to do it this way. Yeah, we needed a grist there. That's not going to do it. All right, scoop. Down a game. Game 2. 3 Thoughtseize, maybe an Endurance, maybe a Force of Vigor, maybe a Liberator, definitely a Veil. Right, we're definitely pulling our Evos. Yawgmoth is medium. Some number of birds are medium. We shaved 3? I think we shaved 2 birds in a wall. Let's see what this looks like. Like, if they have more artifacts and enchantments, another Force of Vigor might be worthwhile. It's kind of like anticipating we're playing a long game. Maybe we'll do that. Just like grind them. I would imagine they're bringing in some other form, like probably like a Rest in Peace or something like that. Opening 7 is acceptable. We'll keep it. This is a beatdown plan with this hand. Which is kind of what we tried to do last game. Will it work? I don't know. It feels like this is dying. Turn 2, Twilight Mirror. Bring the beats. Stringer Geist is so good. It's so inconspicuous. It doesn't look like much, but it does a lot. Just like a hasty 2-1. You know, it's just like a workhorse, you know? Just get in there. Pressure their life total. Do what you do. Land number 3. We're just going to continue to hold down the fort here. I'm going to play this, and we're going to play out our Yawgmoth. If they have something like Dress Down into Supreme Verdict, that would be unfortunate. And once again, like, if that's how they want to use their counter magic, I'm okay with that. This end step, we are going to play out our Endurance, just because their life total is getting really low. And I actually think I'm shuffling these things back just in case they have a Renin 6. I want to cut them off with this mana. They can't cast a Renin 6 right now, which is of note. Feels like they have another counter. So I think our Endurance is probably going to run into a counter here, but I still think it's the move to play it out. Yes, okay. We don't want more land. Let's crack this here and now. See what we can find. Another Geist would be nice. Play out our Hierarch. We do need to be careful about a Verdict, so I'm not going to play into that. I'm going to play out this tapped and pass the turn. They're on a 2-turn clock as it stands. They hit land 5, so now they have Solitude up. There it is. Alright, that was a good draw. We're gonna bash. I guess, yeah, they have Solitude. They can just swing back, but they have another Solitude. Alright, starting to slip away a little bit. Like, we really need Grist or Yawgmoth in this matchup. Yawg would be so good right now. Alright. The window is starting to close a little bit. Yawgmoth would still be really good. We're a mana off of courting for a Yawgmoth right now. Another Geist. Alright, we'll play out the Geist. We'll leave it back as a blocker. We're not getting anywhere if we're attacking at this point, so... Teferi. Are they debating which Teferi they're going to play out of their hand? Jace. Who plays Jace these days? Is this still a thing? I think here you just plus, right? Look at the top card of my library. Plus me, plus yourself. Oh, this league has been brutal. It feels bad streaming and not putting up good performances. But I think the last couple of weeks my win-loss has been lower than typical. All right. And they don't have a counterspell up, so we can put in some work here. This was the opportunity. As long as they don't have another... We might even be able to kill them just for them. That might be the move. Would have loved to land. I think we go for the W. I think that's what we do here. So I could do one of two things. I could use the Hierarch to try to draw another 2 cards and see if I find a land to lead with Thoughtseize, which gives me a lot of information. And then like the proliferate on the guy still gets lethal. Or I just proliferate, attack them, and hope that that's good enough. So a little tricky. Maybe getting more information is the move. But if I don't hit a land drop, I'm in the same spot. I think finding the land, drawing 2 more cards is where I want to be. Or what I could do I could play out Innkeeper, kill the Solitude, Thoughtseize them, and swing at the Jace and make them play off the top. Maybe that's better. Let's lean on Thoughtseize. Okay. So that was a more conservative line. I could have just gone for the kill, but you know, I don't know. It was a tough call. What would you guys have done? Would you have just proliferated and gone for the kill, or would you have played a little bit more conservatively there, just playing around different things? Like just that incremental card advantage, just starting to draw into more and more and more cards. We're kind of drowning them at that point. Here. I think our configuration is fine. I don't think we need to switch anything. We're not doing great in this league. We're 1-2 right now. We lost to Scam last round. This hand looks very similar to our last hand. We're going to keep this. Let's see if it's good enough on the draw. We lost to Scam, and then we lost to Breach in round 2, and we beat Blue-Red Murktide. No free wins here. making us work for it. All right, so if they have a turn to, they molt to 6. If they have a turn to Wrenn and 6, they'll pop our Hierarch, and then we'll be able to swing it down with the Geist. So we're okay with that trade if that's how they want to do it. Like, 1-for-1ing right now is okay because they're down a card, so they kind of need their resources. And I would imagine Wrenn and 6, if they do have one, is going to be very valuable for them to try to get ahead here. So it's kind of what we want to have happen. Yeah, Con Magic. I think that was the right line, but there was definitely an argument for going in both directions. Force of Vigor, not great right now, but we'll see what it does in the late game here, if they do have some leyline bindings. Feels like they might have a subtlety. They paused there. Hit him for 2. Hit him where it hurts. Endurance up next turn is nice. We haven't seen any board wipes yet in these 3 games. Okay, that's getting killed as well. And depending on what we draw, okay. So I'm going to stick the Endurance now. And I think we just leave everything. I don't think we need to shuffle anything. The Sorcery, Speed, Endurance. I can try to draw a counterspell out of their hand there during their end step, so I stick the other Endurance, but I think we put it down when we can. Get it onto the board. Have a threat. They're low on cards right now. They only have 3 cards. So this feels bad right now, but I feel like in the late game it might be valuable to get some cards back. Our hand is kind of weak. Kind of want another land. Not really what we want. Not what we're looking for. We'll swing. We're gonna play at instant speed here. We're not doing anything playing into what they're doing. Okay, so there's a binding. Womp. Okay, we're going to play out our other Endurance here. Just got to keep a clock on them. And then next turn we'll play out our Artist and our Yawgmoth. They have Solitude up here. And that is what they are representing. Okay, here we're going to go... I want the Wall of Roots to resolve because that's the best card with Chord of Calling. But I think... No. So the mana is a little trickier because if I go Wall of Roots, I also want to cast out my 2-drop. But if the Wall of Roots doesn't resolve, I want to play out the Yawgmoth. So maybe I do... I don't know if there's a way to do both. Might just have to... There isn't a way to do both. I think I might just have to lead on Yawgmoth here. I think I go Blood Artist here as well. If they want to counter that, I'm fine with that. Yeah, that is a-okay by me. Like I said, Wall Roots is the most important card out of all of those, so that's how they want to spend their counter spell. Be my guest. Sticking a main... I don't understand why they're main phasing their Solitudes. This is strange. Nor do I understand why they hit... Why they got Yawgmoth with that. Okay, so land was actually pretty good there. All right, we're going to swing with Endurance? No. We'll leave it back for now. Just, once again, we hit, they just gain 3 life right back. They only have 2 cards in hand. As long as they don't get something like a Teferi, we should be able to start pulling ahead. That's pretty good too. Okay, we have a Yawg next turn though, so that's really good. We're getting our Dryad Arbor here. And we're also going to have the Force of Vigor for the binding. Like, I could sack the Dryad Arbor right now. That is an option. Maybe I should have done that to see if I can get pull land. Alright, throw up 4 life. They do have Kahiro. I wonder if that's their game plan this turn. We need, like, one of the cards in their hand to not be something good. We need to dodge something for a turn. Let's see if they pull a Kahira. They could also have an ending, which could get rid of the Yawg. Okay, they pulled a Kahira. That's really good for us. If that's how they're spending their turn, that is a-okay. Sure. Three, 4. They have an ending. Ending would be bad. Okay, we can still stick another Yawg on this turn. Our best draw from here is a Yawgmoth. And take a hit for 8. That's fine. Alright, Yawgmoth. Okay, that's almost the same thing. Is that correct, tapping that way? I do need to use the Mire. Now we have Cord up, we'll have Force up. So if they can't get rid of this Yawg, we're okay. See if we can stabilize. A bunch of nonsense in your hand, please. This is a close game. All right, you have mana, have life. 5, Ferry's really annoying. Okay. So here, I think I'm going to get a Yawgmoth. They have no cards in hand. I'm running low on time too. I need to keep an eye out on that. We're definitely going to start by killing the Kahira. I'm going to draw a couple cards. Peatland, not very good. Another Yawgmoth is fine. Tomb. And then if they attack here, we'll actually be able to kill the Omnath, so we're fine with that. Do it. Do it. Swing. Yes. We actually don't even need to use the Force of Vigor here. So we'll double block that. Why do they keep killing? I'm so confused by their course of action. Yeah, we're actually going to get rid of the binding here, because we can kill the Teferi for sure. And we'll shuffle these back in. We have 4 minutes. 4 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Thoughtseize. That is not good. Alright, we're going to draw a card with our Peatland here. So we have Yawgmoth next turn again. I'm going to block this. There's Yawg. Yawg is back. I'm going to see if Yawg sticks first before I... Alright, they drew a counterspell. That's annoying. I could have waited a turn, but I think we have to go for it there. Time is of the essence. Yield through turn. They can't attack. They're slowly chipping away here. If they have another Solitude, that's really good for them, which it does not appear they have. Ugh. Another Omnath. I'm actually going to fetch out a Dryad Arbor just in case we draw a Grist. It's going to be important. We haven't seen a Grist yet this game. That would be nice. Grist. Okay. And I wonder if Grist is better than Yawgmoth here. I also wonder if I lead on a Thoughtseize. It's kind of tricky. I'll go down to 4. It puts me in range. Like if they top deck another fetch land, that'll be really bad for us. We'll just lose if they draw another fetch land, so we have to dodge that. Alright, so that's annoying. We're falling behind here. Alright, we just lose. Yeah, we're dead. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal. Reynad. We will be on the play. We will keep our opener. Let's see what we can do here. So we're going to fetch basic, play out a bird, I think. Three copies of Yawg. I would advise against that. I think that's as bad as it feels to draw multiple copies. I don't think you want to do that, just because in the late game you really want to top deck into a Yawg. Alright, so let's start with a Misty. I'm going to hit myself for 2 here. Might be a mistake. Attack for 1. That was likely a mistake. I probably should have just let that come into play tapped. I don't know if the 1 damage was worth that. It was aggressive. I'm feeling aggressive because I've been losing. Basic Island. Thought Scour. Who plays Thought Scour? Is this Lotus Field, it feels like? That's what this feels like. Blooming Marsh was really good. So if this is Lotus Field, there's a chance we could just die next turn. Excuse me. So I think the move is to leave up Cord for Endurance. And then if they don't go for it, we get Messenger, and then we just kill them. I think that's the safest line here. Okay, so they're not going for it. Which means we're going for the kill here. I believe they have interaction counter spells of some sort in their main deck. And once again, I'm assuming that this is Lotus Field. There could be some... This is the 1-3 bracket, so who knows what we're playing against. Yeah, so they counter spell. Who knows? Alright, from here we're going to lead on an attack. And assuming our Yawgmoth resolves, we will have quite a few draws to find an Endurance if we need one, or another Yawgmoth. I don't think we played a land yet this turn, so we could also potentially find land into Geist would also work. There's the Geist, okay. See what they do here. They fetch in response. Basic Island. Okay. Wasn't expecting that one. That's fine. They have Island, Island, Island in play. Welcome to the 1-3 bracket, where all your dreams come true. This is what we call a brew, if I had to guess. Another Thought Scour. Are they just going for like a big Murktide? Is that what the game plan is here? Like Turbo Murktide? Sure. And they're leaving up what looks like a counterspell. So hopefully we can bait out a counterspell and then just kill them. Another Twilight Mare. So we can only cast one of these, so that's probably not where we want to be. Let's start by drawing a card. Catacombs is fine. That gets us a Dryad Arbor. We'll lead with the green mana. Petty theft. Sure. It's really not a big deal. We can now Evo into a Grist, which we are going to take advantage of. I don't know how their 5/5, their vanilla 5/5 is going to hold up here. Feels a little underpowered. Wonder if they have High Tide in their deck. The Tolarian Terror is coming in, coming for the beats. On brand, I am very scared. Probably going to lose to this card, but like, I guess they could go Murktide into Borrower, and I would be in trouble a little bit, maybe? Maybe? I do have the birds, though, which are useful. Good blockers. I think I'm relatively safe right now. Innkeeper's actually pretty good. A little bit of extra life here. So I think I'm going to lead on an attack. Okay, Innkeeper. Well, a lot of thinking involved in playing this deck. All right, we got an Innkeeper. So this is going to let us double spell next turn. Gain another life. Bird gives us a chump blocker for the Borrower as well. Kind of wanted that swamp, but that's fine. Okay. I don't know if they realize that I have Dryad Arbor in my deck. I think they're going to be a little disappointed. Yeah, there's a Murktide there. We'll see if they let my my Dryad Arbor block here. I love that interaction, fetching for Dryad Arbor and gaining the life off the Innkeeper. So it's like I didn't lose any life to do that. I think Court is pretty good. So that kind of changes our game plan a little bit with regards to what we need to do this turn. We're going to lead on an attack. Let's see what we can attack with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we can actually swing with everything unless they have like a Spell Pierce. I guess we'll play around Spell Pierce. There's like, they're not really doing anything, so we're okay with that. They have 3 cards in hand. If they want to Cryptic us again, it's not really doing too much. Like, what is the, with dual lands and tri-lands in the format, what is the incentive to play a mono-colored deck? I don't understand. I do not comprehend. I would like to Chord for 4. Would you like to counterspell? Sure. I'm going to have Yawgmoth in play next turn. Pretty sure you're going to die. I don't mean that as a threat. I meant that as a, like, from a gameplay standpoint here. Okay. So, let me make sure I have enough mana to do everything. I believe I do. Play our Yawg. Gain a life. We're going to dump one of our birds. Get a messenger. And they're dead. Okay, and they scoop. They get the idea. Okay. They hate Blood Moon. That is, I guess, a reason to run what they're running. Alright, so I don't know if Hapatra is that good. Definitely bring in a Veil of Summer. Bring Endurance. I think we bring in Hearse as well. It seems like they're trying to leverage what their graveyard is doing. Evos seem really bad. Wall of Roots also seem pretty bad. Young Wolf seems pretty bad. I feel like that's a pretty straightforward that for that. Looks good to me. So normally I would ship this, but they don't have any spot removal. So I think this is actually fine to keep. They might have Dismember. Normally this would be an auto send it back, but given the pile we're playing against, I think this is okay. If we get Dismembered, we kind of get punished a little bit. This end's actually really good against Spell Snare, which we saw game 1 as well. It is so cold here today. I don't know where you guys live, but cold by Southern California standards. It's like in the 50s, but none of these houses have heat. We have a heater, but it's not like a full like central heating unit, so it's chilly. All right, leave up that counterspell. It's not a bad draw. Lead on a bird. I mean, it's almost certain they have a counter, right? Maybe Thoughtseize was a little hasty. Maybe I play out the Yawgmoth and then next turn try to Thoughtseize into Grist. That was probably a mistake. So the line I'm going to have to take now... definitely take the Murktide. Conversely, I guess I could have taken the Thought Scour and then used my Endurance, but... like, they need land, they need interaction, they really don't have much going on. They have the Gazes, which filter for them, so like taking the Thought Scour doesn't really do anything. This deck is so weird. And by weird, I mean it's kind of bad. I should bite my tongue though, because I can't buy a win today, so. And they kept everything. Thought Scour. Okay, they have ley lines. Good to know about. I would imagine they have a land. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going to leave up Endurance. Unless they want to counter our Yawgmoth, in which case we're okay with that. That lets us get the beats in for 2. And if they gaze end of turn, which would be really nice, we're going to slip in our Endurance then, and then their hand is pretty bad. All right, use that gaze, my friend. Use that gaze. Yes, you may. You may. Why does it put him on the bottom? It'd be helpful if put it on the top. Okay, we are going to fetch now. I think I'm going to get my swamp, actually. And we will cast this. I like how the beat just picked up, like right as I just kind of blew him out of the water there. Felt good. They don't have another land drop either. That is unfortunate. Buseju. Not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5. Oh, we can double spell. Okay, we're cool. We're in business here. So we're gonna play around Brazen Borrow and attack with both of these. I don't think they want to Brazen Borrow Our endurance, though, that doesn't seem very good. We'll play out a grist. I feel like we're close to them scooping. And there it is. On cue. Our league with this list went okay. It was a tough league. We had some, I mean, all the decks we played against with the exception of the last one they were all like legitimate like tier 1, 2 decks, and none of the matchups were necessarily like super favorable. They're all pretty close matchups. I feel like this sideboard isn't optimized. I feel like it's like a card or two off. I don't know if I want 3 Thoughtseize, to be honest. Like 90% of the matchups where I'm bringing in Thoughtseize, I only bring in 2. And then maybe, like we actually saw 2 matchups during that league where I brought in 3. But there are actually very few matchups where I want 3. So I'm considering shaving a Thoughtseize. Ooze has been a little lackluster. I like having the utility of it. Searching for life gain, searching for graveyard interaction, but a lot of times it kind of just bites the dust, so I might get rid of Ooze again. I don't know. I'm not sold on the second Hearse either. For me, it's been a little bit of an underperformer as opposed to what a lot of people have expressed with regards to their testing. So the main deck, I don't think much needs to be changed. It feels like endurance is a little bit worse now than what it has been in the past. So maybe shaving an endurance. Like the list that a lot of people are running, the prominent list is like 4 Wall of Roots, 1 endurance main, and then you bump up to a 4th Eldritch, or you put Hapatra in the main. I think those are all reasonable in terms of ways to switch things up a little bit. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the move is. With the new set coming out next week, I think we're definitely going to be adding the 1-drop Artifact Killer. I think there's a good chance it replaces Liberator. Yeah, Haymire Might is going to be really, really good. It's so funny because you see these spoilers come out and you're hoping for like a Haymaker for your deck. And then this like little inconspicuous 1-drop piddly little artifact, and you're like, wow, like that's what I wanted, but I didn't know I needed. So, but yeah, definitely a very strong card. So I think that will be slotted in nicely. It gives us an answer to Cauldron pretty cleanly as well, which is really, really nice. With that, I'm gonna check out for the day. Thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't done so already, feel free to head over to my Patreon. Any and all contributions are greatly appreciated, but you also have access to a ton of free stuff over there, so feel free to head over there and check things out. Sideboard guides. There's a primer. I didn't finish the primer, but the first 2 parts I think are up over there. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Hit the follow button, whatever it is, whatever platform you're watching this on. All of that stuff is greatly appreciated. So I will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, 7-ish a.m. And then, yeah, we'll do it again. So thank you guys for joining. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then.